Hey y'all, what is up? It's Alisha. Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do a get ready with me video. I wanted to talk about just where I am mentally and how I have been navigating my waiting season. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This should not take me too long to do. I'm not doing like a full beat or anything. Well, I'm not doing a full beat or anything. It's gonna be pretty much my regular makeup routine. So first I'm applying some primer. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys about just how I have been navigating my waiting season. And I wanted to share this because I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like everybody kind of has their own waiting season, depending on where you are in life, what your journey looks like, what your life story is. Everybody kind of has their own waiting season, but I wanted to talk to you guys first about what my waiting season currently is, as well as how I have been just trying to stay as peaceful and as happy and as joyful as possible during my waiting season, right? My waiting season is, transparently speaking, I feel like I am in a season of just waiting for the love that I hope to have one day, in terms of romantic relationships. I know that I am extremely blessed when it comes to friendships, when it comes to family, when it comes to the love that I have for my daughter and the love that she has for me. Like, I know for a fact that I am truly, truly blessed, and I don't take that for granted at all. Side note, I am taking it all the way back with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I have not used this in so long. I have not used this in so long, but I saw it in the store and I was like, you know what? Let me just try it and see if I still like it. So we're going to just see how this goes. Like I was saying, I know that I am extremely blessed in so many areas when it comes to love, but I would be a fool to like not acknowledge the fact that I do one day want to get married again. If you guys don't know, I have been married, I have been divorced, and there's no denying the fact that I would one day want to get married again. I look forward to marriage one day, and I feel like after being divorced for, what is this, like 4 years? 4 years, I think, something like that. I'm ready. I feel like I'm at a place where I'm really ready for whenever that time comes, like, to embrace it and not be scared. Like, I think that, like, if this was a couple years ago, of course, like, I would not have been ready. I definitely would not have been in a place to like really and truly receive the type of love that I ultimately want for my one day marriage. But I think that now I'm in a good place, you know, therapy, God, a lot of self work. I feel like I'm really in a good place to receive that kind of love. That being said, because I look forward to marriage one day and just being in a like happily committed, like long-term relationship, I have moments where I get just a little sad sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I have moments where I get a little bit sad. I know like the word lonely has a very negative connotation. But I'm human, right? So I do have moments where it's very few and far, but I do have moments where I feel a little bit on the lonelier side, especially because I'm going to be honest, especially because, you know, like I have a big family, love my family to death, but I am currently like the only person really who is not in, like not married. And sometimes, like especially with holidays and stuff like that, it can be hard. And like I said, I'm just being transparent with y'all because I never wanted to come across as I am just this super happy all the time single woman, single mom. I'm just out here like super happy with just being single and I never want a man. I never want to be married. Like, no, y'all will never catch me acting like that or saying that unless I really felt that way. And if God shifts my perspective and shifts my thought process to no longer desire that, then maybe you will see me saying that. But as of now, that desire to get married is there. It's strong on my heart. It has always been on my heart. And God knows that. And I truly believe that He does know the desires of my heart. And it's there for a reason. I have no doubts in my mind that desire is not there for a reason. And because of that, like I said, I do have moments where I find myself like wishing and hoping and just looking forward to the day that really does come to pass. It's definitely hard. Like, let's be real. It is definitely hard, but I will say that I have probably had this super like strong desire for being married one day for probably about a year or two now. And like I said, I have worked through a lot of different emotions. I've gone through a lot. I have dealt with some really dark days. I actually was just talking about this on TikTok. Even earlier this year, I kind of went through like a little phase where I was feeling lonely. Like I was just feeling really lonely to where I felt like this overwhelming sense of loneliness, which I felt like prior to that I had never felt ever in my entire life. But it was like something about like February, March-ish, I was just feeling like really lonely. And it was not the best time for me. I felt like work kept me busy. And of course, I'm a mom, so like that keeps me busy too. But outside of that, like your girl was just struggling. Like whenever I wasn't with Valerie, like I felt like I was just laying around and just like sad for like a couple weeks. And I had to pick myself up and be like, Alisha, we are not going to sit in this because life is still moving. Whether you like it or not, life is still moving. So you better get yourself up, put on a smile, work through your feelings and get it together. So I definitely have had moments where I have struggled. But I do feel like as of today, like when I'm recording this video, I feel like I have learned so much along my waiting journey, my waiting season, to where I feel like I now have a better understanding of how to really navigate this season in a healthy way. To where it's like, I'm not trying to be superwoman. I'm not trying to ignore how I'm feeling, but I also want to make sure that I am not allowing this time to pass by and me kind of be stuck, like just stuck. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be in this box where it's like, okay, life won't be good until we're not doing that. Like if there's one thing I'm not going to do, it's wait until something for me to enjoy life in the present. I think that is one of the worst ways to live, especially because we all know by now life is so short that that's just not how I choose to live my life. And I will definitely say that I have learned some tools, resources, just things from therapy that has made this waiting season way more bearable. I'm honestly in a very optimistic place to where it's like, I'm not stressed. And that is exactly how I am feeling in this season. It's like, yeah, I do desire like love. I do desire marriage, but that is not going to be the thing that holds me back from really just living my life. And so whether your waiting season is similar to mine, where you desire, a relationship, you desire marriage, you desire whatever, it could be that. It could be you are waiting for a home. It could be you're waiting for children. It could be that you are waiting for your finances to, become in order. It could be anything. No matter what your waiting season is, I really hope that the tips that I'm going to share are going to encourage you to keep the faith and just stay trusting God, because I truly do believe like at the end of the day, the more that we trust Him, the easier things will start to unfold, and He will just be able to work things out in our favor so much smoother. It's like He knows that He can trust us with what it is that he promised us because we have put so much faith and so much trust in him. And that is truly what I'm holding on to. That is truly how I feel. And yeah, I hope that this talk, this chit chat encourages you guys as well. The first thing to do in your waiting journey is to just acknowledge what it is that you are waiting for, what it is that you're desiring. What exactly is it that you're praying to God for him to do in your life? Like, don't be afraid to acknowledge what it is that you're waiting for. I know that we hear so often you should be happy with what you have. And yes, I do believe that to a certain extent. Again, we're human. So the fact that we even have these desires, the fact that we even are wanting something, like there is no harm, no shame, and no guilt for acknowledging that. I know I used to feel so guilty. I used to feel so guilty for wanting more than what it is that I already have. And it's like, yes, I'm very grateful. However, I could still want to be married one day. I could still want a husband. I could still want these things. Like there is no, I'm not sure about y'all, but I have feel no shame these days about the way that I feel, the emotions that I feel, and the desires of my heart. I feel like me and God are like this at this point. Ooh. So I literally do not feel a single bit of guilt just going to God and pouring my heart out to him and just telling him like what it is that I am wanting out of this life of mine. I may not go around telling everybody my business and like what it is that I'm thinking and feeling and wanting, but one person that's gonna know is the man upstairs, period. So I would definitely say, like, don't be afraid to acknowledge it. Like, your desires are yours for a reason. Don't be afraid to express that. I noticed that whenever you keep that type of stuff bottled up, it will start to weigh super heavy on you. And we don't want to live a life where we're feeling like we can't really be ourselves and express ourselves. So if you need to talk to your therapist about what it is, like whatever it is, just get it out and acknowledge how you're feeling and what it is that you feel like may be lacking in your life. On this next tip, as far as how to navigate your waiting season, I think is the most important. And it is to reflect on what it is you used to wait on. So think about your life 5-10 years ago and where you were then, what it was that you were waiting on in that season. And just think about how many things have been checked off of your waiting list. So I'm going to give you an example. About 4 or 5 years ago, you guys know, I was in a totally different headspace to where I was like, honestly, just praying to God, like, God, I cannot wait until I am in a season where I am just happy. I cannot wait until I get into a season where I can thrive on my own. I cannot wait to get to a season where I am confident in my ability as a woman, as a mom, and just as a businesswoman. Like, I cannot wait until I feel that level of confidence that I know that you have for me. I cannot wait to be able to give me and my daughter a home to live in. I cannot wait to be able to travel and just live the life that I know that I desire. I cannot wait until do X, Y, and Z. Like the list literally can go on because 5 years ago, y'all, I was so in such a low place in my life to where I was just asking God just to get me together. In like every single aspect of my life, I was like, Lord, get me together because I am literally struggling. And when I look back at it, God has literally come through and checked off pretty much every single thing that I used to wait for. And when you make that list and you realize that so much of what you used to pray for is checked off, it's like a light bulb moment where you realize that the things you used to want and be praying for and waiting for, they're all here. So why would I think that this time would be different? Like, what is it about now that I feel like this just won't happen? Like, everything else has happened, but this just won't be the thing that's going to happen. Like, that's not making sense to me. Whenever you realize that your life has unfolded the way that it has for a reason, and God has come through for you time and time again, you realize that this time is no different. Because for me, I realized that even then, everything that was checked off happened in his timing. It was never when I wanted it to be. Because if it was for me, it would have happened that day when I prayed. But when you realize it's like in God's perfect timing, everything happened and took place exactly how it was supposed to. It all unfolded exactly how it was supposed to in like the best way possible. So this time is no different. It's just that I'm trying to rush God. It's just about trusting, right? It's about trusting. It's about putting our faith in him and knowing that he knows the desires of our heart. God knew the desires of my heart back then. He came through at his timing. So now it's the exact same thing. He knows the desires of my heart. He knows exactly how I'm feeling. He knows exactly the type of man that I want to marry. He knows all of that. So why would I feel like he's going to give up now? Like he's going to just leave me now? He's not. Like, that is not how my God works. I know about y'all, but that's not how my God works. Like, I'm like, girl, relax. Like, give God some space. Give him some time. And I also, this is a side note, I always tell my friends that, like, I know that God did not bring me this far just to give me the bare minimum. I always say that to my friends because I'm like, to me, I've realized it's not hard to find a man. It's not hard to find a man. But the thing is, the type of man that I am going to marry is a very rare breed. I know that. I embrace it. God has told me, like, the man that you're gonna marry is gonna be so just like unusual. Like, as far as like the men that's out here, he's gonna be a rare breed. And so because of it, I really have to practice patience, and I really have to just trust that whenever that time comes, it's gonna be worth me having waited. That makes me excited in itself. And that, I think, is one of the things that keeps me going. Like, whenever I wake up in the morning, that's one of the things that keeps me motivated and just inspired and positive, is because I know at the end of the day, even though I am in this waiting season, the wait is worth it. I literally never apply eyeshadow, but today I'm doing the most basic eyeshadow and just applying like a brown to my eyelid, just to give it a super soft, like, smoky look. Okay, so this is where we are so far. Outside of that, I honestly don't have too much else to do because, like y'all already know, I am just not doing a whole lot of makeup these days. It's just not my thing. I honestly prefer, if we're being honest, I prefer like no makeup, actually no makeup. And I just focus like really heavily on skincare because I just think that, I don't know, I just feel a lot more free and honestly even more confident whenever I don't have makeup on. I love when my skin is showing. I love when my skin is glowing. I love when my skin is just popping. Like, I really and truly enjoy that so much more than makeup. But for shoot days, I will apply a little something. Now, this isn't to say that during your waiting season, you'll be positive all the time and that you won't have your bad days. I still have some bad days. I've mentioned it earlier, like, I will have moments where I may feel a little bit lonely, or I may, wish that I had a companion to kind of cuddle up with, or I wish I had a companion to go do, something with or whatever. Like, I'll have moments like that. And whenever I do, I find that the easiest way to go about that is to just feel what I'm feeling. Take some time to just process what you're feeling. Take some time to journal. Take some time to, like I said, go to therapy. Take some time to pray. I'll have moments where I will just throw on some praise and worship music and I will just like bawl my eyes out and just get it out. Like, just get it out. Like, feel it. Just embrace the feeling because it's there for a reason. And we got to stop acting like we are not human and we shouldn't be feeling human emotions, because that's not how this works. The key, though, is to not let it get you down to where you stay down. Like, for me, I have a day or two maximum to where it's like I can soak, I can lay around, I can eat all the junk food, I can just watch TV and just be unhappy, right? I can just do that for about a good day or two for a good weekend. And then after those 2 days, it's like, no, get yourself up. Get yourself up. We are not going to continue to stay here, because the longer you let it affect you, the harder it is to come out of it. And after a while, you have to pick yourself up. As hard as it is, as tough as it may be, you have to learn how to pick yourself up. At this point in my life, and as much as I struggle with like anxiety and just stress and stuff like that, I know how to pick myself up. And the way that I do that is I get myself back into a routine. I get myself into a routine, or I'll have like a self-care day where it's like a full-on Alisha day, doing nothing but things that I love to do, right? So I will like go to the spa, go get my nails done, watch a good movie, order my favorite food, go work out, do something active that I really enjoy. Just getting myself back into the habit of pouring into me. I mentioned this before, but life keeps going with or without you, right? So if you decide that you want to be miserable for a week, a month, or whatever, life is just passing you by. So I'll feel how I need to feel, but then I'll get myself up and keep pushing, like keep going, not be sad, not feel like I can't live the life that I want to live without having marriage. Like, that's ridiculous. Absolutely not. We're not doing that over here. Another thing is to make sure you're not comparing your journey to somebody else's. That is probably one of the biggest things and the biggest ways that we get in our own feelings during this waiting season, is by trying to compare our journey to somebody else's. I'm going to be totally honest and be the first person to admit that that is super hard for me. I have had to work incredibly hard to not do it, because like I mentioned earlier, in my family, I am pretty much the only person right now who is not married. So I used to find myself kind of like just comparing my situation to other people's situations, just like how my life looks versus other people's, how my life isn't like the standard. It's not like the traditional way of doing things. It's not, it's just not what's normal. Prior to like recent, I didn't know a single person or was friends with a single person that had a similar story to mine. So then it was really like, okay, no one gets me. No one can relate. I'm out here by myself. Like, everybody else is married. Like, it used to be so hard for me not to compare like my story to everybody else's, but it got to a point where it was like everybody's journey is their own. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has something that they have going on behind the scenes that, of course, I'm not privy to. I have no idea about. Like, everybody is dealing with something, right? And everybody's journey is going to look different. And I had to like be okay with that. Like, this person may be married, but may have gone through something else that I never have experienced and have no idea about, right? So there is no point in trying to compare my journey to somebody else's, because I have no idea what somebody else is going through, or what they have going through, what they are going through. And I may not want that life. If we're gonna be honest, I really may not want that life. So we gotta stop doing this whole comparison thing, because we literally, especially in this day and age with social media and stuff like that, we have no idea what is going on behind the scenes. No idea. It could be something terrible, and we are out here comparing ourselves to them and wishing we had their life. Like, no. Last thing is to apply my lip liner. For my lipstick, I'm going to be using the MAC Velvet Teddy. I've not applied this in so long. That is pretty much it, you guys. If I'm going to do makeup, which like I said is like once, maybe twice a week, I always do this makeup look. Nothing really varies for me. I keep it pretty simple. I don't do a whole lot with like the eyes and all that. I'm just at a point in my life now where I keep it simple. Yeah, that is pretty much it for the face. I'm going to go ahead and change into my outfit. But before we do that, I did want to wrap up the conversation about the waiting season with one last thing, which is, while you are on your waiting season, try your best to learn from it and grow from it. I realized that the most growth truly happens whenever you are in an uncomfortable space. Whenever you're just thriving and happy and life is good and everything is good, you're not really growing as much as you are when you're in the trenches, okay? When you're in the trenches, whenever you are struggling, whenever you are uncomfortable, whenever just things may not be going your way, you have to ask yourself, what's the positive here? Like, what can I learn from this season? Where can I grow? What can I do to be better? How can I serve better? How can I be a better friend, a better sibling, a better daughter, a better coworker? How can I be better? How can I love on myself more? How can I fall in love with myself more? Those are the things that you can control. In the waiting season, of course, that's a part where you're waiting for the unknown, but there are certain things that you can control, such as how can I grow and learn during the season? I know I have grown so much in terms of just really pouring into myself, because I'm naturally a busy person, and I find myself being pulled in so many directions that it's so easy for me to forget to like do things for me. And I have really had to learn to like, okay, Alisha, in order to even know what kind of man it is that I want to marry, I have to know me. I have to get to know me so I can figure out the things that I like and don't like for that future man. Can we grow and evolve and elevate? Like, that's, I think, what our focus should be on, instead of trying to just wait until. Like, no more of that until, right? Focus on the now, focus on the present, because I truly feel like whenever you are focusing on the present and focusing on the things that you can control, life gets so much better. Like, me now compared to where I was a couple years ago of just being this waiting season, but having no idea how to navigate it, and just being like, I just want this. I won't be happy until this. I need this in order to X, Y. No, I really was just not at peace then. But how I feel now, and the joy that I feel now, the optimism I feel now, the excitement I feel now, like, I wouldn't trade this where I am now for anything. And I'm grateful to have had that experience to kind of like go through my own journey, figure out how to navigate certain things, just kind of like learn how to just live in the now and not be so anxious for like that one thing that I am waiting for. There's just so much life right in front of us, so much good right in front of us, so much happiness and peacefulness right in front of us. But it's just up to us to see it. Like, it really and truly is up to us to embrace what it is that's currently in front of us, not what is 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, but what is currently, presently in front of us. And just hold on to that. Just hold on to that. All right, you guys. So I am dressed and ready for my shoot day. I just threw on this like off the shoulder blouse and some jeans. So we are good to go. Gonna shoot some content and gonna shoot some campaigns and just knock out this work day. But I really, really hope you guys enjoyed today's chit chat. Ready with me. This topic has been on my heart specifically a lot lately. And so I wanted to just get it off my chest and share it with you guys, because I feel like I really am not alone in this. And I'm just hoping that it encouraged at least one other person to just really kind of shift your perspective during this waiting season, because I know how hard it can be to navigate, and it can be super easy to get lost up in just focusing on the future and just not really living your best life in the present. But I want for us to live our lives where we currently are. Whatever season you are in, like, just focus on doing the best that you can to live an amazing life, a happy life, a fulfilling life, even now with everything you may have going on. So I'm praying for you, and I just want to see us all win. And that was why I wanted to do this video, just to encourage you guys, and also to continue to encourage myself as well, just to keep going, keep pushing, because the wait, like I said earlier, the wait is going to be worth it. It's so much sweeter just to be patient and to wait to see it all play out in God's timing than try to rush. So just remember that the wait will be worth it and your life will unfold exactly as it is supposed to. Things will unfold the way it's supposed to. Just everything will fall into place exactly how it's supposed to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you guys did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't already. As always, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.